everyone, it's DarkFire07. Today we are playing Frog Zoo, and I've been saying for some time that Frog Zoo is my favorite way to play Zoo at the moment in this post-ban metagame. And we got new card, Winternight Stories. I really like this card. It's been incredible. It works great with Zoo creatures. It's easy to cast it for 1 mana, but I also like it even more in a deck playing Psychic Frog. A Psychic Frog plus Territorial Kavu is best friends with Winternight Stories. It enables crazy turns when you can discard Winternight Stories on turn 3 and then play a creature and replay this Winternight Stories for 1 mana, and so often it's just a super powerful play, very hard to lose after that. And also if you get to discard Phlage, it's just super broken. Okay, also we got a couple of Phlages and we got reworked mana base to play easier both Frog and Phlage in the same deck. I added second Triumph and Breeding Pool. I think Breeding Pool especially was important because of this play pattern. You can go turn 1 Blood Crypt, play Ragavan, turn 2 Breeding Pool allows you to play both Psychic Frog and Territorial Kavu, and you can finish domain on turn 3 finding basic planes for a full domain with these 3 lands, and you are now safe from Blood Moon, you are safe from Harbinger. You can always draw your Leyland Binding or Wear Tear Postboard to kill land hate, and this plan works very well against land hate in my opinion. So far I've been successful with it. Second Triumph also worked well. I prefer it to having like a second Survey land or 13 fetch. Okay, I've been happy with the 2 Triumphs in the Frog list. I think you can't just play the regular mana base in the Frog Phlage deck, and because of that I did some reworking of the mana base, and I think now in this way mana base is working much smoother. And always try to remember this pair when playing against moon effects or harbinger decks and that's stuff like that. Okay, so in the sideboard I got Conscience, of course, Stubborn Denials, and since we are only playing 2 Phlage in this version, I decided to go with Hidetsugu Consumes All instead of Pest Control. I think Hidetsugu is slightly better against Prowess, also exiles their graveyard turn after, and then it becomes a threat. With Scion it gets a lifelink and the first strike, and you will see in this league how Hidetsugu was good in some of the games and actually started attacking with it, gaining life. It stabilized me. I really liked it against Boros, against Prowess, 2 very popular decks at the moment. Okay, 2 more Stubborn Denials in the sideboard and a couple of Doorkeeper Trolls and some Graveyard Hate. Just classic stuff. I really like the sideboard. All cards are super effective and important in the matchups when you're bringing them in. And okay, so that's it. Before we go to the gameplay, I have some news. I just updated yesterday my Domain Zoo Cyber Guide with Doorkeeper Troll. Also, a few days ago, I updated Emperor of the Bones Domain Zoo Guide, and I updated Obosh Ketramos Cyber Guide as well. And I will be bringing some more updates to the Obosh Ketramos as soon as I can. And I'm also starting on making Cyber Guide for this version with Psychic Frog. I did Trophy League with the Frog, it was few days ago. Now we are going to go through the league and see how it went. I recorded all 5 of my matches, but this match 1 I only started in game 3, but it was kind of a boring match anyway against Storm. So we are going to see how this worked out. Okay, so you can see my opponent, I actually killed their Ral, I Wear-Teared their first Ruby Medallion, then played some threats, and I attacked them twice and finished them off with burn spells. Very easy opponent. I killed the first 2 discount spell cards, and then they were digging and found Ruby Medallions, but it was too late. This game is just to quickly see how the match 1 went, but it was kind of boring anyway, so it's not really a big deal that I skipped the first 2 games. So it was a boring Storm storm matchup. And okay, so here I got double leyline, and I want to be safe from any moon immediately. So I go for Ragavan on turn 1, finding basic planes, and then turn 2 I can go fetch, connect with Ragavan. I think I want to play a Kavu here. Ideally, I would play Kavu here, and then turn 3 find a creature with power 4 like a Scion, and replay Winternight Stories for 1 mana. Let's see what happens. I can also play Winternight Stories for 3 mana here, discard my second Ragavan. And here my opponent goes Portable Hole, actually takes my Ragavan instead of Territorial Kavu. I definitely did not expect that. But yeah, since they decided to go for that and I draw a bolt from the top, I decide to try to be as aggressive as I can. And I discard Winternight Stories, hoping to find another creature maybe. Next I can go creature plus Winternight Stories, but I also find Tribal Flames, which is really interesting because my opponent is already on 11 and I potentially have a lethal next turn. So let's see what happens. Okay, opponent plays Tamio, plays Bubble, plays Pitting Needle. Not really important, but here I go, Lightning Bolt the Tamio, so I want to connect with Ragavan here and kill the Tamio as well. So I go for Ragavan, a dash. I want to dash Ragavan here, so I want to play Flames later. So I'd rather have them counter the Ragavan here than the Flames. So I go for Ragavan dash, they counter it, and now I connect with Territorial Kavu, bring them down to 6, then Tribal Flames them, put them down to 1. And I have Winternight Stories in my graveyard. This means I can dig 3 cards next turn to try to find a bolt for a win. Okay, opponent now can make a large construct and block my Kavu, but they decide to go for Thought Monitor and find Dispatch, take my Kavu. And so always remember to do this. This is very important. So you have 3 lands. Most of my spells is 2 mana. So I have 0 cards in my hand. This means when I go of Surveil in upkeep, I just can't lose anything. So here I went Surveil in upkeep and I put Frog into the graveyard and I top decked Bolt from the top for a win. If I didn't do this, there is a good chance I would maybe lose this. Maybe they would find Shadow Spear and I would not be able to kill them next turn with Bolt. Or maybe they would find Metallic Rebuke. And it was really crucial in this situation to surveil in upkeep and find a kill, okay? Don't forget to do that. Okay, so here we go. We can see the sideboarding plan. Hiretsugu, Werther, Doorkeeper Thrall, Nihil Spellbomb, all amazing cards against them. Spellbomb because they play Emery. And it's decent to have like a Nihil Spellbomb type of card. Just exile their graveyard, draw a card, and mess up their Emery. So, okay. Hiretsugu is great. So, to fit all that, I'm removing the graveyard cards like Phlage, Winternight Stories because I'm bringing in another 3 mana card. Hiretsugu, and which is also exiling graveyard. So I am removing 2 Ragavans as well and 1 Tribal Flames, and I am ready for game 2. Let's see how this went. Okay, so I keep 6 here. I will be forced to go Surveil on turn 1 here. Then maybe play Frog on 2, but since I'm keeping Breeding Pool on top, I can't actually play the Frog. So I'm preparing the field to play the Hiretsugu, Consume Soul. So next turn I will be needing a Black Source to cast both Frog and Hiretsugu. I can't find that immediately with Flooded Strand, so I just have to pass a turn here. Hold like Binding, Werther, or go for Hiretsugu on turn 3. That is, I think, best plan at the moment. So opponent goes for Shadow Spear, nothing much, and it's kind of obvious in this situation that they're holding Metallic Rebuke. So what else could it be? So I'm going binding the Shadow Spear, then I can just uninterrupted play Frog or Territorial Kavu, whatever I like. So my opponent rebukes. They rebuke my binding here, totally non-important for me, and in the end opponent decides to rebuke my binding, so I get to resolve Territorial Kavu as planned and pass the turn. Okay, so now opponent has a Shadow Spear, they go Portable Hole, exile my Territorial Kavu, play Mox Ember, and it's kind of perfect for my Hidetsugu, just kill 3 of their permanents and kill their chances of playing like Kappa Cannoneer next turn or something like that. Luckily they don't have a Metallic Rebuke here, just a Wear Tear to kill my Hidetsugu, that's fine. I have another in hand and I got my Territorial Kavu back. This is pretty big deal. So I think I can safely discard Nihil Spellbomb in this situation. And I play Frog, pass the turn, and my opponent concedes that is the match. Okay, so let's check out match 3. I keep a weird hand match 3, no threats, but I have binding, I have good lands, and double tribal flames can be really aggressive. So I just need kind of one threat here. Okay, here is the Psychic Frog from the top, that is good. And my opponent plays turn 1 Mox Opal and turn 1 Cory Steel Cutter, that can potentially be very strong. And they can make a lot of tokens with prowess. Okay, opponent goes a second Welding Jar, and then Mishra Bubble makes a monk token and passes the turn. I think the best bet here is to just binding the Cory Steel Cutter. We can see my opponent has 0 cards in hand. That is really important. I have 7, so I think what I want to do here is just take their Cory Steel Cutter. It's their main card right now. I'm worried about. I don't want to let them make more prowess tokens. So I play my Ragavan, play Leyland Binding, take the Cory Steel Cutter and pass the turn. So next turn I can play the Frog or the Flames, whatever is needed. Opponent plays double Preordain and Tamio attacks me for 3, and they have Tamio as a blocker for my Ragavan, but I think at this moment it's best to use, I'm not sure, yeah, I think it's best here to just kill the Tamio, get the treasure from Ragavan, and play the Frog, pass the turn. Seems I also exile their Tamio, but I think I rather just play my Frog and pass the turn. Okay, so now opponent 1 card in hand, they find Emery, so I definitely want to kill their Emery, and they're not still close to I don't have anything close to lethal here, so I think I just want to force them to block my Frog with token, and then Tribal Flames, the Emery, pass the turn. I have Stubborn Denial backup. I can't make my Frog 4 power, but I can do it next turn. Okay, so here I go attack with both Ragavan and Frog. I think I can very safely here discard 2 cards. And play my Kavu with Stubborn Denial backup and play Frog, which means this could be potentially lethal next turn. So I have 10 damage on the field, I have 2 cards I can discard with Frog, which makes it lethal on board, plus I can draw 2 cards with Kavu ability and Territorial Kavu ability, Frog and Kavu abilities, sorry. Okay, my opponent finds Kappa, but they don't have a second artifact, which means their Kappa is just a 5/5, and if I attack with all, they will be forced to block my Territorial Kavu and actually just to trade. If I had another land, I would be able to binding their Kappa. Okay, so now I go for attack and I can do ability with Kavu. They will need to block Kavu. so I can remove the Leyline of the Guild Pact. Now I also have Phlage. This means I can actually discard Phlage and cast it immediately. That is pretty strong. Also, it's also like very close to lethal. Not quite. I'm missing 1 damage. But I think it's okay to here discard Phlage. Discard Phlage and hold 1 mana for both Leyline Binding and Stubborn Denial. Okay, so I go for Surveil. This was unnecessary. This was definitely unnecessary, but I don't think it matters. So I went for Escape Phlage, put them down to 3, again 3 life, go to 11, pass the turn holding Binding plus Stubborn Denial, and I feel like there is just nothing they can do here to get out of this situation. Just a Phlage attack next turn is lethal. I can also go through air with Psychic Frog for lethal if they get rid of Phlage, but yeah, that's it. My opponent concedes. So again, same sideboarding plan. Hidetsugu, Wear-Tears, Doorkeeper Trolls, and Nihil Spellbombs go in, and I go again with same sideboarding plan, and it's working great. Okay, so this time I also have Scion combo. So let's see how they deal with that. Okay, so my opponent goes for Meticulous Archive, and I shock in Temple Garden, so this way I am able to tear their Urza Saga if they play Saga. But my opponent actually went Preordain, and they bluffing the Metallic Rebuke here, but I think I just have to go for Scion in this situation. If they have Rebuke, they have it, but they didn't actually have it, and now I cast Scion. I have the combo, and let's see what my opponent does. They go Thundering Falls, Otawara in the graveyard, and they actually have, I think, removal for yeah, they went Phlage, target me face, and then take mana from Mox and kill my Leyline of the Guild Pact, unfortunately. So now I'm missing a mana to play any of my spells actually, but I do find a land here which enables me to go for a full domain. So pretty good here. I decide to go for Kavu because I have double Tribal Flames, and with 9 damage on the field and 10 damage in my hand, this is potentially just lethal damage next turn. Also holding Tear for if they play Saga, but that didn't happen. I draw a land so I can go attack them face and then finish them off on turn 4 with double Tribal Flames, and that is exactly what happened. I'll also exile their Phlage from the yard, and here I go. Tribal Flames face and another Tribal Flames face. I love these finishes, and that is it. Another win for 3-0. Let's see match 4, how did that go? Okay, I think last 2 matches I played against Boros, and okay, so here I also have Ragavan, but I think I'd rather just play Leyline Binding here on their Ragavan, then go turn 3. Unfortunately, they played Gyro Souls plus Ocelot Pride. This hand from my opponent was actually sick. You will see in next turn. So I have options. I think for best usage of my mana, I think it's best to go Tribal Flames, their creature now, and next turn hope to find a land. Then I can go Psychic Frog plus Leyline Binding. And okay, so I go for, I think for some time and go Tribal Flames, their Ocelot Pride. Because I was about to binding their Gyro Souls anyway, but my opponent has Ragavan again and another Ocelot Pride. So I kill one, they get another, and I'm again in the same situations, even worse than last turn. My opponent also has Ragavan now, and I didn't draw a third land. I decided to concede. It was just too much. from my opponent. This game they had everything. Okay, so but now I board in my Hiretsugus. I have Nihil Spell Bombs, obviously Stubborn Denials go out, couple of Ragavans go out. I like to remove Tribal Flames in this matchup as well. Sometimes, in some cases, I remove all Tribal Flames depending on my list. Sometimes I keep one or two. And okay, but in this situation, I think I kept one. I kind of like it like this, but I need to remove another card, so I remove another Tribal Flames and start game 2. Okay, so this hand is pretty solid, and what I was saying before, there is a fetch pattern. When you're playing first, it works very nicely. So this is a fetch pattern I was talking before in the Discord, maybe in the beginning and video as well. So you can go turn 1 Blood Crypt, turn 2 Breeding Pool, which enables you to cast both Psychic Frog and Territorial Kavu. Then you can finish your domain on turn 3 by finding basic planes. I think that is a very solid way of beating land hate like Blood Moon, Harbinger of the Seas. Okay, but also this can be problem for casting Hiretsugu Consumes All, so you have to be careful. I can go like potentially for Sacred Foundry, and here it is, Sacred Foundry from the top. And now it is a question, do I want a planes or I want a Sacred Foundry? I think in this situation I rather just play my Territorial Kavu and find my basic and be safe. Just be safe from Blood Moon. If they play Blood Moon, I'm okay. I have a binding in my hand. If they play something else, I have 1 mana to play my binding. I don't want to cast the Nihil Spellbomb because next turn I would also like to cast a Hiretsugu probably. So there's that. Okay, my opponent has Ocelot Pride on the field, and they go 3 mana Seasoned Pyromancer. I'm perfectly fine with that, puts me in a great position. And now I decide to play the Nihil Spellbomb because if you didn't notice, my opponent actually discarded 2 Phlages. So they discard 2 Phlages here. I really want to go like Nihil Spellbomb, exile their graveyard, draw a card. I give a flying to my frog as well. Okay, so I draw a card with frog. It is Scion, that is actually pretty good top deck. So now I can go exile their yard, play Sacred Foundry and cast my Scion Jaco. Seems pretty good, gives hexproof and lifelink to my frog. That's pretty good. And here I find another Scion Jaco, so I play the Scion Jaco, pass a turn. Next turn I have Hiretsugu plus Leyland Binding, seems basically unbeatable at the moment. My opponent goes Ragavan, Traben Charm, kill my Sino Jaco. That is all good, but still not enough to do much. Okay, so opponent has 0 energy, so I have to discard 2 cards here to make my frog survive. So I decide to do that. And I'll make my frog survive here, and opponent gets a cat token. That really doesn't matter since I can just go for Hiretsugu, clear their board, and I still have 2 cards in my hand. I don't have a lethal here, but yeah, my opponent concedes, obviously. That was too strong here. And let's check out same plan post board. Let's check out game 3 against Energy. So here I have double Flawless Trend. I can go for a basic planes, but if I go for basic planes, I can't play Territorial Kavu or Scion on turn 2. So there is something to think about here. Sometimes you have to play around the moon, sometimes you just can't. And there are games that go both ways, and you just have to make a decision. Okay, opponent goes turn 1 Ocelot Pride. I have a lightning bolt here, but I would really like to use my Hiretsugu Consumes All to try to kill their Ocelot Pride. Okay, so I go for Flooded Strand, and here I decide to risk them having a Blood Moon and play Territorial Kavu, okay? So if I went for Sino Draco here, my opponent could potentially Traben Charm kill my Scion. That would be pretty bad here. So I decided to go for Kavu. If I'm already risking them having the moon here, my opponent decides to go for Ajani and pass the turn. They did not try to force Ajani flip with Ocelot Pride attack. And here I need Sacred Foundry again, that similar situation. I need Sacred Foundry if I want to cast my Hiretsugu, so I go for Sacred Foundry. If they had Blood Moon, they would play it last turn, so I can just kill their stuff. If they flip the Ajani, I just attack Ajani and kill it. So pretty bad situation for my opponent. I get to attack them down to 13 both now at the moment. Okay, so my opponent goes Surveil, play Ocelot Pride, and Traben Charm kills my Hiretsugu. So again, as I said, they had Traben Charm and I used it well. I did not let them kill my Scion Draco with it. So that was really good. And here I do the redraw, discard Psychic Frog, and now I can play Arena of Glory, hold Bolt plus Nihil Spellbomb, and next turn I can go for a hasty Sino Draco. Maybe it was better to cast Sino Draco here, but I wanted to keep it as a kind of surprise and also have a Lightning Bolt which makes lethal with it, and my opponent concedes here. That is 4-0, so that is the match. And now it's time to go see the trophy match, see how that go. And the starting trophy match with a leyline combo, that's great news, and also playing first. So started well, a battle for trophy. My opponent had the super good hand again. They went turn 1 Static Prison. I have a good hand as well, and since they took my combo and I go Territorial Kavu, I think that's best I can do here. And my opponent has again turn 2 Ocelot Pride with Gyro Souls. That's terrible because they have Static Prison. I was hoping they will have trouble keeping their Static Prison alive, but Gyro Souls plus Ocelot Pride just completely solves that. I have some options here. I decide to stay back with Territorial Kavu, kill Gyro Souls and prevent them from attacking me with Ocelot Pride here unless they have removal for my Kavu, which is not that easy for them to have. But my opponent surprises me here with Blood Moon in the main. So I can't do much about that, and yeah, I just try to draw a basic for a couple of turns. It didn't happen. So again, same sideboarding plan as we saw before. Hiretsugus are super good against them. Nihil Spellbombs is also great. Exiles their Phlage. Werther useful against their Blood Moon, of course, but also kills Bombardment and Static Prison. Very also Fable. So a lot of targets for Werther. Really worth it. So I bring in both Werthers, and this time I was thinking between cutting a second Winternight Stories or this time when I was on the draw, I decided to no, I was on the play. Okay, so I have a stories here, and it looks like it could be a really good play here. The dream, if you don't know, like the dream is to play turn 2 Frog or Kavu, and then turn 3 discard stories, play a 4 mana power creature and replay Winternight Stories for 1 mana. This play is so powerful, okay? And here I go for, I have another Kavu. It's perfect, so it's really perfect in this situation. I have so much good stuff I can do. I go for a Kavu, and all I have to do is get that land on turn 3, which enables me to play another Kavu and replay Winternight Stories. I don't have to do that on turn 3. I can prolong it, but it's very strong. So I have a lot of good options. And unfortunately, I was hoping for a land. But I didn't get a land. I go for a Kavu ability and discard one of the Phlages. And I get the lightning bolt, and also I can go for another creature. I decide to go for a frog here. Frog is also hard for them to kill at the moment, and my opponent only plays Goblin Bombardment. Yeah, that seemed like a pretty strange hand from my opponent. Maybe they had a Johnny in hand and they always play Bombardment first, so I was hoping for a land, but again didn't get it. It would be so perfect here to get that land. Also I can't play Winternight Stories plus Lightning Bolt here because I have Steam Vents and in Data Trial. But yeah, I can go again. I was hoping for a land. This time I go for a Kavu ability, discard Stories, and still I don't have a land. I discard Phlage to grow my frog and put them down to 7 life. I have 7 damage on the field. This means if my opponent doesn't find some answer to the frog, they could potentially just die next turn. So let's see what they have. They go for super accidentally, just misclicked here and let them kill my frog. First I discarded a frog here, but then pressed F6 accidentally, and my opponent was able to sacrifice my bombardment to actually finish my frog. So I almost put myself into bad position because of the misclick, but it didn't really matter much. I still attacking them with frog, putting them to 5 life. And now I also get the basic, and I'm holding the lightning bolt. Seems like an incredible situation for me. And with Scion and Territorial Kavu on the field, I also get to replay my Winternight Stories immediately for 1 mana. I love this play so much. I was struggling with lands. I was not able to do it before, but this is a rare situation. You will mostly have like 3 lands and be able to do this thing. And it feels very strong when I do it. I also filled my graveyard for Phlage and find the 4th land I needed to cast Phlage next turn. So that seems great. I also have Nihil Spellbomb to make sure I exile their Phlage before they fill 5 cards in the yard. Okay. So I take their Phlage, opponent kills my Kavu and kills my Scion as well. But it's okay, I just recast the Phlage from the graveyard, put them down on 1 pass a turn. So now they have to kill my Phlage, and even if they kill my Phlage, I still bolt them for lethal. Okay, so Winternight Stories was great, and I'm kind of missing like 1 slot to play all I really want post board. Okay, so again, I go for the same sideboarding plan, and I had to mulligan. I keep a decent hand. I have a Spellbomb, but I don't have early removal, but I find Leyline Binding from the top. Unfortunately, opponent has that same thing again. Same thing again, Guide of Souls plus Ocelot, one of their best starts, and here is the Hiretsugu Consume Soul from the top, but I need 3rd land to be able to play it, so I have options here. I want to cast my Territorial Kavu. If my Kavu survives, I can Try to do draw this card to find the land and play the Hiretsugu. Unfortunately, my opponent has a Celestial Purge, so they get rid of my Kavu and attack me for a lot of damage. And unfortunately, I still not getting that third land which I need for Hiretsugu, so I only played the Nihil Spellbomb and pass a turn with holding Leyline Binding. My opponent pumps their Gyro Souls on attack, and that's when I take their guide with Binding. This worked out well for me, and the opponent attacks me down to 6. Sorry, this didn't work out actually well for me because opponent had Wear Tear there to protect their Gyro Souls, and now they have 0 cards in hand. I find that land I need finally, so now I can go Sacred Foundry. I should have gone Steam Vents into Indata Triumph into Steam Vents, and now I will be able to go for a basic planes to cast my Hiretsugu, and like this I was in a risk of them finding Phlage for a lethal, so it will be much better if I went for Indata Triumph. Okay, so my opponent plays Ajani. That was a good top deck, but I have a great play here. I can go for my Phlage, gain life, go up to 6 and be safe from Phlage kill. My opponent attacks me down to 4 and they now pass a turn. So what I really want to do is be safe from their top decking Blood Moon. So I want to play a creature and hold 1 mana for Tear basically at all times. So they go for a fetch here. And now the big thing is my Hiretsugu flipped has a first strike and lifelink. So I'm using Hiretsugu now to stabilize with Scion. I'm going up on 7 life. It's really amazing. So I go Frog plus Nihil Spellbomb and I'm still holding 1 mana for Tear kill their Blood Moon if they draw it. But now it's not even enough because my board is too big. If they play Moon, it's not going to help them much. Okay, so a lot of options at the moment. Lot of options. I have a Flooded Strand now as well. Okay, I kill their token and now I go. I think in this situation I want to just pump my frog, give it flying and exile 3 cards, draw a card. So my 2 of my creatures have lifelink, so I'm totally safe from everything they may have at the moment. I'm going up on 11 and yeah, my opponent doesn't really have any chances at the moment, and they concede, they get the trophy, and that's it. That is the entire league. And the Frog Zoo worked very well. I'm super happy with this list. I'm really happy with the split of 2 Phlage, 2 Winternight Stories. Phlage can be hard for a mana base still, although I reworked the mana base and made it easier to cast all the cards. But Winternight Stories, I think it's a great piece for a zoo decks. Harmonize is so easy to recast in a zoo, and it's easy to discard it with having 4 Kavu, 4 Frog in a deck, so you can mostly play it for 1 mana, which is amazing, and sometimes it's good to cast it for 3 mana as well. So it's situationally a very good card in different situations. Sometimes you will play it for 1 mana, sometimes you will be able to play it for 3 mana, but overall I really like how well this card plays out in zoo decks. It is a very serious option, and for a 3 mana spot I saw people playing like a stock up in zoo before. I think this is much better, works so good with zoo creatures and with Phlage as well, and I really like it. It's for 4 mana, mostly digging 6 cards deep and discarding mostly just 2, and when one of those 2 is Phlage, it's a win-win. Okay, so I really like the sideboard as well. All cards very effective at the moment. Like Prowess, this is for Prowess and Energy. This is for Eldrazi, this is for combo decks, Doorkeeper Thrall for ATB effects, and some Graveyard Hid and Verter are always good. Okay, so that's it for today. Hope you liked the video. Friendly reminder for the end, click like, click subscribe, comment down in the video, tell me what do you like to play in Zoo, what is your favorite version of Zoo at the moment, is it Doorkeeper Thrall Zoo, is it Emperor of the Bones Zoo, Orcish Bowmaster, or Frog Zoo. Okay, so at the moment I said this is my favorite version. Second favorite versions are still Thrall and Emperor Zoo. Two versions I have on my Decktionary, Sideboard guides, and I will be making Sideboard guide for this one as well. The two guides are freshly updated and I'm starting making this new one, so there will be 3 fresh Zoo guides for all types of Zoo you want to play. All will be available on my Decktionary very soon. Okay, that's it for today. And thank you for watching and goodbye.